right, November 29th, 3 games on the NHL schedule tonight, and let's keep this heater going that we are on here on the Edgework Show. Before we get into last night's games, before we get into tonight's games, give out best bets if we've got any. I want to remind everybody, as always, today's show is brought to you by BetStamp. The easiest way to improve as a sports bettor is by using multiple sports books and always getting the best odds. We recommend using an odds comparison tool like BetStamp in order to help you do so. BetStamp compares odds across every sports book, whether that's for player props, futures, or games. You can save time and money by checking BetStamp before you bet. So make sure to download the app today. It is available on iOS, Android, as well as on the web. If you are looking to sign up for a new sportsbook account, please check out the offers available at betstamp.app/edgework. The link is available in the description as well, but that's betstamp.app/edgework. Now, speaking of BetStamp, if you want to go and check out all of the picks that we've given out here on this Edgework show, you can find that in the BetStamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ. You gander over there and you can go into the analysis tool, change the date range to see this season. You would notice that we are 93, 89, and 1 on the year so far, over the course of 183 bets. As a show, we've got a collective 5% ROI, and a 6-4 night last night helps us get there. Moretto, can you talk to us a little bit about what went right for us yesterday?
The only one that matters are Nashville Predators. That's the only one that matters. Philip Forsberg takes care of business in overtime.
More like Ryan
wipes
O'Reilly
the Penguins away.
Business in overtime.
6 in a row. Playoff bound. Nashville Predators pick up the win.
What happened with your perception of this team? This has been a roller coaster ride of like, the Preds are great. We're done with the Preds. We're back with the Preds. Like, what the hell is going on here?
You never heard of a reverse jinx before? They just need a little motivation. They just need a little light a fire under their ass. They're like, wow, if this guy doesn't believe in us, we really got to get things going. And obviously, they watched the show, spread like a wildfire in the locker room, and they turned things around pretty quickly. So they're back. Probably not going to lose again. I would be surprised if they did, but we're gonna lock in those futures right now. Some Central Division futures, some Cup futures, Western Conference. This team is a wagon again. They're a wagon again. Yeah.
We're just loading up. You're saying,
yeah, we're loading up.
We're going all
spray
in
the
here
board.
with the Preds.
Yeah, spray the board.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, 6-4 night yesterday was pretty good. Do lose the Tavares goal, so apologies there. That's on me. But hey, look, we got home the Blackhawks money line as well.
Yeah.
The one that was just an absolute gong show of us even trying to figure out whether or not we had given out a play there.
It was gone there.
Yeah, that was a mess. We lose the Tampa Coyotes over 6.5, which I was
Connor
tracking
Ingram
that
saves
one.
3 goals above expected in that game. Connor Ingram was on one last night. Like, fair play. I mean, it is what it is, but he was unreal.
Yeah, and then we lose the Kraken Blackhawks under 6.5. That one 2-2 at the end of the first period. I was just box score watching on that one. I wasn't really doing anything else. It was like, fuck. All right, we're gonna have a tough time getting that one home.
We almost did. Still almost did.
Yeah.
They scored
a
needless third goal. Grubauer again. And this is. I'm not like complaining or saying that we deserve way better. Like maybe we did, maybe we didn't. That's just life betting totals. But Grubauer struggled. Grubauer again, like 2 goals saved below expected. It was just like Ingram's on one, Grubauer's off. And you figured if you're going to lose that total, it would be because like maybe Mrazek has a horrible game. Mrazek played fine, and then obviously Grubauer just decides to not show up. So that was rough. Rough first period, kind of put us in the hole early. But at least we got the Canucks total.
Mm-hmm. And then the other total, the Islanders Devils. Kind of just went the complete opposite way for us there on that one. Under 6.5, closes with 9 goals total, or finishes with 9 goals total, I should say. 5-4 finish. New Jersey wins that one. I mean, would you make that bet again, Moretto?
No, probably not. Sorokin and Vanishek combined for like 2.5 goals saved below expected. So even if they made those saves, we're still at 6.5, which is what the total in the game is, and we laid some juice on that under. So that was the one that I feel like genuinely was the wrong side. The other 2 total losses, I thought like maybe right side, just wrong results, and then obviously the Canucks one was very much the right side and the right results. So Yeah, can't win them all, but we get the Oilers home, get the Predators home, get the Blackhawks home,
The Coyotes.
I wasn't on the Coyotes myself, but it's okay. We get my bets. I had no
Yeah.
play inside in that game.
Yeah, I mean, and as Mike's saying here, we won with the Sharks, the Blackhawks, and the Coyotes on back-to-back nights as a show. Because so money gave out the Sharks, and then last night Matt said, "Yeah, hold my beer, watch this." Gave out Blackhawks, Coyotes, and those get through. But I mean, Matt, we haven't heard from you. I'm not going to put you on the spot of it, but I see the caption there. What's going on so far this year, Matt? Transparency is important. I think everyone understands where we're at, so there's no shame in it. But won a shootout, lose the other 6. What is happening?
Yeah, it's been fun. No, I mean, it starts when you go 0-9 in shootouts, and actually did get a win last night. I forgot I had Toronto in that game along with Matt, which got home after it initially lost.
Yeah,
it's been rough, right? And like, and this kind of even shows, right? Like, you beat Close on, I think it's 87% of plays on Pinnacle, and you still got an ROI in the negative 30s. Like, at some point, that's obviously going to change, but it's been very, very rough, obviously. But the Rangers are good, and that's really all that matters. Just to kind of go back to the Predators really quick, like we talked about it a couple weeks ago, like you definitely saw a path for them getting better. It was gonna be UC Saros, and like the last 3 to 4 games, he's been really good. So you kind of see like how they're going to get better. They're not going to, like, we joke about futures, obviously, like, but you definitely see a path for them getting better and potentially getting back into the playoff race. But
well, I think you're joking about the futures. I don't think Moretto is joking about the futures.
I'm hoping he's joking about them.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into the games here tonight. And as we do, if you're watching right now and you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, all that good stuff. Whatever you got to do to support the show, we do appreciate it. Trying to get to 2,000 subscribers here on this channel. Try to add more content in, be able to do watch-alongs, videos, all that kind of stuff. Have other guests maybe rotate through here as well, even if it is in for other shows throughout the course of the day. But can't get that stuff going until we get to the 2,000 subscriber mark. So please do help support the show. We'll get to the Rangers talk today. We'll get to Habs talk today. A lot of that will be going on. But if you do have questions about any of the games, about any other teams around the league or anything that aren't playing here tonight, please feel free to send them in the chat because we'll try to get to those after we've gone through the games here tonight as well. So let's start with Habs Radio. First and foremost, Montreal Canadiens on the road here tonight, taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus minus 124, the Habs plus 112, a total of 6.5. Let's go to our Habs insider, Alex Moretto. What are your thoughts on the Montreal Canadiens, where they're at in this point of the season, and the fact that they're being priced like this against the Columbus Blue Jackets?
My thoughts are, I wish I was a Canucks fan these days with how awful the Habs have looked. Yeah, every positive you had from this team has kind of gone out the window a little bit lately. It's been pretty brutal. I watch every second of every one of these games, unfortunately, because I'm a sucker. And man, they've been brutal. They're getting some good goaltending, which has been a nice silver lining. No matter who's in there, Primo, Montembeault, Allen, they've all been decently above average this year. And Goulie's been great. Slavkovsky, I know the narrative around him not producing points, and I get that, and you need to produce in this league, but he's playing well, so at least that's a bit of a silver lining. But the team as a whole, it's bad. Wheels have kind of come off. Last 7 games, which include games against the Sharks and Ducks, they're at a 37% expected goal share at 5-on-5, and it shows from watching it. That's that number matches the eye test. They're not generating any offense. They're allowing a ton. If their goaltending wasn't what it was, they'd be getting blown out most nights. So, yeah, Montreal took money this morning, and I'm kind of glad they did. So I don't have to even remotely consider betting them right now because at plus 120 maybe, but I can't. Definitely not at this price. Columbus is not a team that I feel great backing, even though they have turned it around. Merzlikins is looking good too. They've, small sample, but 3 of their last 4 they've won. And yeah, it's neither of these teams are really attractive to bet right now. So I'm glad that I'm just sort of neutral on this game. Total wise, I would be more interested in an under just because of the fact that Merzlikins is playing well, and the Habs have gotten good goaltending, but like both of these defenses are brutal. And like, while they're not generating a ton either, it's the range of outcomes for this game is so wide. I don't care to get involved.
All right, fair enough. I mean, before we get Matt's thoughts here, I'm kind of curious your thoughts on what the hell's going on with Johnny Gaudreau and Patrick Laine here in Columbus right now. You see Laine's being scratched for a bunch of games, not good for my fantasy teams. Thank God he was a later pickup there, but like it's not really what you expect or what you'd hope for. You're looking at a guy who, if you listen around to kind of some of the insiders on talk radio shows or whatever, they're discussing the fact that this guy might be on like a prove it deal come next year. And at one point in time, it was, this guy's guaranteed 40 goal scorer every single season. Is it just their lack of ability as players? Are they missing something around them? Are they missing another kind of driver with them? Like, what is going on with Gaudreau and Laine?
I think Gaudreau's slowly starting to turn it around a little bit. I think it's maybe a bit more of like just a mental thing, especially for Laine, where he just doesn't seem all that interested. It's so hard to get him engaged night to night, like just kind of all over the place. I think that's basically what it boils down to for him, because he has all the talent, he has the size. There's no reason for him to be struggling this much. Gaudreau, I mean, it's got to be something to do with like just the fit. He's starting to turn it around a little bit, but like, it's got to just be like just unhappy with the situation, not loving what's going on in the room. Obviously, they got off to a terrible start with the Babcock stuff. Like, it's just kind of snowballed from there. It can't be a fun place to show up to work every day right now.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair assessment of it. Matt, any thoughts for you here in this game between the Habs and the Blue Jackets tonight?
No, I was on a lot of Montreal overs earlier in the year. Those have certainly dried up at this point. I agree. At this point, it's kind of under or nothing. They've been getting really strong goaltending all year. I was on an under last week. I think it was when they played Detroit. Didn't even get close. Sorry, that was some of the other team. No, I got nothing here.
All right, fair enough. Enough of this Blue Jackets Habs game. I did see a question here. Somebody asking, can someone explain the Corey Perry situation? Either of you guys have an explanation for this?
Yeah, I think somebody's got to be worried at this point that he might go to Vancouver. I mean, have you seen the captain's mother? Like, I think he may be wanting to get a little bit worried at this point.
Oh boy.
Do we know how this ends?
Watch out, Devils. With him going to Tampa and winning a cup.
Yeah, or Boston.
With him going to Boston and winning a cup.
This is him reuniting in Tampa and making a very deep run.
Yeah, that was the first thing I thought of when I saw that the contract was being terminated. Was there's two teams that are about to sign this guy. It's Boston Bruins or the Tampa Bay Lightning, and either one of them is going to go very far in the playoffs here with him. And I was like, yeah, that's great, especially as sitting here as a Leafs fan watching that. Not necessarily like I have all the belief in the world in this team as it is anyways, but throw that in there. It's like, yeah, it's done. Like
one of the best tweets of all time yesterday was, I don't even know if you should pull it up on screen, but it was Corey Perry should sign with Toronto. I think a lot of these players need their moms or something like that. Need something to happen with their moms to kind of rile them up a little bit.
Oh boy! All right, well, let's move on to the
not
next
taking
game
the bait on that one there.
No, let's go. Let's go to the Rangers talk radio here now. Matt, I'll throw to you first. The New York Rangers taking on the Detroit Red Wings, and the team that ended up picking up the guy you guys could have had, Patrick Kane. You could have reunited with him again this season. Talk to us about what's going on with the Rangers this season and why they're being priced minus 190 at home tonight against the Detroit Red Wings.
The Rangers dodged a bullet in not signing Patrick Kane. And when you saw Kakko go down the other night, that was like the first thought through my head was, oh my God, they're going to go out and they're going to sign Patrick Kane. Obviously, that didn't happen. Thank God that didn't happen. They're being priced minus 200 because they are a wagon, and because they don't have Patrick Kane. And at this point, like, obviously Dylan Larkin's not going to play tonight.
Yeah.
190 is a bit steep for me. I did like the under or a little bit earlier. It started to move. I think that minus 107 at Pinnacle is probably still good. I'm kind of stealing this from Moretto, sorry. I was kind of looking to play it, woke up, and the price was kind of moving at that point. But that'd be the only look for me tonight because I do expect Igor with them on a back-to-back. I I think it's Saturday, Sunday in Nashville and home against San Jose.
All right. Well, I mean, you gave us your thoughts on the game here, and we'll get to Moretto's thoughts here as well. But floor is yours. Talk to us about the Rangers so far this season. Well, just not even just this game here tonight, but thoughts on them as a team, where they're at this year, and where they could go potentially moving forward here.
Yeah, it's funny because you haven't really seen them at full health for very much of the year at all, and they're still kind of having these results, right? Like they beat Boston, I think it was 7-3 the other day, and you're without Fox, you're without Hedel, obviously, and it's like they're still playing great, and they're beating kind of all these teams, and like the other night against Buffalo, you kind of saw that coming. That it's just like it's hard to kind of sustain that. You play Pittsburgh, you play Boston, you play Philly, you go 3-0. And then you come out and just lay an egg against Buffalo. But, like, obviously you lose Kakko for what's going to be months, right? Like, that was a really gruesome-looking injury. But, again, they just kind of had guys step up, and it's kind of time to see what happens. Now, I know a lot of people were kind of hoping that when he went down, they'd bring up Brendan Othman. That hasn't happened. But we'll just kind of see how they're able to make do in the meantime. I still think, like, you get later in the year, they're going to want to find a middle six winger to kind of put in that spot. But for now, no, they look great.
And Moretto, where are you out this Rangers team? I know you declared this is a team you were putting in the driver's seat for like a cup favorite position. You still there with them? You still kind of that high on them so far?
Yeah. Hard not to be. They've given you no reason to think otherwise. I'm sure that, like, I mean, man, it's so competitive atop the East, and you got, like, all due respect to the Leafs, but you have, like, Boston, the Rangers, Carolina will turn it around at one point to the point where, like, I think they're going to be a wagon. And then
you
I think
mean
those
no
three are kind of like
Leafs.
No. Those are like that's like I think the top tier right there.
Leafs.
That's the top tier right there in the East. Those three, and then like below them you have the Tampa, the Leafs, maybe the Devils. The Devils. I just think that, you know, of those three, I would say Tampa is probably my favorite of them. Florida's right there as well, obviously, but like, yeah, the Devils' goaltending is concerning, and with the Leafs, maybe the defense, but they can fix that up a little bit. But yeah, the Rangers are clearly in that elite tier now. I don't think they were at any point last year, so they've definitely elevated themselves. And I mean, you look at their roster, how their roster stacks up against like those other two teams, Carolina and Boston, and I think I'm taking the Rangers over either of them. So, man, it's crazy. Come full circle. 2 years ago, I was getting ripped apart by Rangers fans the entire playoff run when we went to the conference, and here I am back in the Rangers. So life comes at you pretty fast.
Well, any best bets in this game here tonight against Detroit?
I did bet the under. And Matt, when you mentioned you wanted the under, but it had moved, I said, I'll still give it out at this number. I didn't realize how much it had moved. I didn't realize it was all the way out to minus 107 now. I played this at plus money earlier at under 6. So, I mean, probably wouldn't bet it there. The under 6.5 minus 125, not the most widely available, but like PointsBet and Betway, I would play those still. I don't think I wouldn't hit the under 6s though at like minus 107, minus 112, minus 115. If you have access to those off market under 6.5, not necessarily off market because there are, PointsBet is widely available. Betway, if you're in Ontario, I would play those still, but that's probably it.
Okay, we'll leave it then. No best bet there, though. We'll lock in in terms of being widely available. One more game here tonight. We've designated this team as the Tuesday team. Haven't really had too many Tuesdays with them so far this season, but we've taken some of those over on the Wednesday shows. The LA Kings at home tonight against the Washington Capitals. Minus 200 for the LA Kings, plus 180 on the Caps. We see a total of 6 in this game right now. Moretto, any thoughts for you on this game, side total-wise?
My strong lean here is towards the under. I think we'll see sort of a one-sided game a bit more with what Washington will be able to generate against this Kings team. This Kings team is just a wagon right now. They're unbelievable. I watched them play, and granted it's Montreal, but I watched them play the Habs on Saturday. I'm like, Montreal couldn't even get through the neutral zone cleanly, like ever. It was brutal. They're suffocating. They come at you in waves. They give up very little. They're able to generate a lot. They have a number of lines they can score now. This team is very much worth the price tags that they're laying. I think, honestly, they're not even short enough on a lot of nights. Now, that being said, I'm not going to sit here and try and lay minus 200 with them against Washington, a team with kind of a wide range. But I think the under, I don't think that Washington will be able to generate all that much. And, the under's worth a look. Not something that I have played yet, though. I think you'd want to see some, goaltending confirmations and stuff like that. But that would be my lean here.
Any looks for you at all, Matt, in this game tonight?
No, I do agree on the total. I just wonder how long like Cam Talbot's going to be able to keep this up, honestly. But no, I've been wrong on Washington all year. I was high on them when they sucked. I was low on them when they started winning. Contributed to kind of what we said at the start of the show. It's been a rough year. I have no play on the side at all. I mean, gun to my head, I'm on Washington, but I'm not playing it.
All right, fair enough. Well, there you go. That's it for tonight's game. So looking at those, no best bets there. So today's recap is very, very easy. Now, obviously, before we get out of here, I'll ask each of you guys, Matt, is there any other teams that are catching your eye right now? Maybe a team that you've undervalued so far that you're adjusting for, overvalued that you're adjusting for moving forward, or just teams that you're interested to watch and see how the next little while goes?
Yeah, I think the obvious answer here is Vancouver, right? Let So Money have his glory here for a few minutes. Yeah, it was obviously against them a lot. They don't lose. But even last night, right? Like I was against you guys on Vegas. And you kind of start seeing these price tags on Vegas. And it's like, that's a team I never bet. And it's probably, I think it was the team I bet against most all of last season, actually. That worked great. But you just kind of see them getting these prices like, okay, plus 130, plus 135 at Edmonton. Like even the other night against Calgary, I thought they were a little bit short. I think they're kind of there. But even a team like Minnesota last night, like I think, and a lot of that's obviously kind of priced it with like, oh, the new coach, like they're going to play hard and all that. But I still think they may be a little overvalued here. But no, that's about where I am for now.
Any teams for you like that, Moretto, that are sticking out?
Yeah, there's the team for me that I kind of have, well, two teams, I guess, and they're both in the East that I think I'm still trying to add some future stuff on are Florida and Tampa. I think there's like some, over 20 to 1s on Florida still out there if you shop around. I think 23 to 1 at a certain book available, widely available. And the Lightning as well. Those are two teams I think are built for the playoffs and, very capable of making very deep runs. Two really good teams that I think are should be valued right up there with, the likes of, the likes of the Devils are like much shorter. Bruins are much shorter, which I can understand, but like Carolina is much shorter, a team that has shown they're not necessarily built for the playoffs whatsoever. You're getting like half the price on Carolina than you are on teams like Tampa and Florida. So I'm still looking to buy up Tampa and Florida. I think the market just hasn't caught up to how good Florida still really is. I think they're still like considered this like underdog team that made a run to the cup as an 8th seed last year. Like, no, the reality is this is a really good hockey team. And, if you go back to like January of last year, the pace they're on points wise in the regular season from like January then to now, basically in this calendar year, is like absurd. So that's a really good team. I think they're not done adding. They have a little bit of flexibility, and Tampa as well. I think we're still at a bit of a buy low there. And if you're looking in the West, the market's adjusted a bit more now from where it was like 2 weeks ago, but we did talk about this on the show 2 weeks ago. The Oilers, they're still like 18 to 1 out there. The West is fairly wide open, and I think the Oilers are kind of back now. And I don't think they ever necessarily left. They just weren't able to quite buy a save, but I think this Oilers team is still worth a look too.
All right. Well, there you go. That'll do it for today's show. No best bets. Do take a look around the league, see what's going on there. Talk about recapping picks last night. If you do want to see all the picks that have been given out here on the show throughout the course of the season or just on a daily basis, you can find those all in the BetSamp app in the Find Better section as Edgework HQ. You see that incredible record ROI total units that the show has put together as a cumulative over the past season, and then you can also go into the analysis tool, do some analysis on the picks as well, and see how we've done throughout the season and break it out, player props, sides, totals, all that good stuff. thank you to everyone who tuned in here today. If you haven't already, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It does help support the show. And not just us, but head on over to the Board NBA coming up at 11:30 a.m. Jacob Grumenia, Pips NBA, breaking down player props, sides, totals going on in the NBA later today. Those guys have been on a heater as well. You think we're doing well over here? You should check out what Pips has been up to with his SGPs over on the Board NBA. Then Forward Progress, 2 p.m. This afternoon. Check out big game previews, best bets, Rob Pizzola, Suma, Eric Eager, Hitman breaking down the games for this upcoming week, this upcoming weekend, best bets, leans, all that stuff over there for the NFL for this weekend's games. Make sure to check it out across the hammer for the remainder of the day. Thank you to everyone who tuned in here today. Greatly appreciate it as always. Hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel. Matt, Alex, thank you guys for taking the time to do this here this morning. We'll catch everyone back here tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Enjoy the games tonight. Good luck on your bets.